Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Blackwood Fire Network Media for the 21st century. I hope that your morning is turning out quite okay, and of course, if at all it is not turning out okay, trust me, there is still other more hours, of course, for you to be able to make your day to be a little bit positive. But of course, karibuni sana to the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Blackwood Fire Network Media for the 21st century. My name is Calmie, and this is the Calmie African Diary Show. And of course, we are coming live to you all the way from the Nairobi studios. Feel free to interact with me. Feel free to tune into the show. Feel free to contribute to the show, because today we do have a lot of important topics we are about to talk about. And remember, today being on a Wednesday, we simply get to focus on history. It could be about different things in the history. It could be about culture. History is just so diverse. So that is what we will be focusing on today on the Calm African Diary Show. And just to remind us, guys, if you might have not watched some of these shows, you can simply get them by logging on to www.blackwoodfirenetwork.com. And once you are logged in, you can proceed and get to watch some of these shows. You can get to share the shows. You can get to listen to the show. Let me get this. You can get also to listen to the show. You can also get to support the stream. We highly appreciate that. And also, quick reminders that we are on the third day of the third month, and the year is 2021. This is just a reminder because we just a few more days before we get to embark on the great Tanzanian Dar es Salaam tour that we have been talking about for quite for the longest time possible. And in regards to that, of course, I'd love to tell you that there's a lot of activities you can't simply get to do once you are in Dar es Salaam, and in Dar es Salaam and also in Zanzibar. And that is more the reason as to why you should simply get to join us on this great trip, because personally, I do not have anything to lose. If anything, I do have a lot of, in terms of learning. This is the more you travel, the more you get actually to learn a lot of things. So of course, there's a lot of things you can simply get to learn on this particular trip. And first of all, let me tell you, for example, if we'll be in Zanzibar, and there's some things you can simply get to, do in Zanzibar. Let me tell you, Africa has a lot of unique things to offer us, and of course, I am not going to miss that. And of course, I'm not going to miss that at all. And talking about that, Zanzibar, there's a lot of things you can get to do in Zanzibar. I'm talking about the stone market in Zanzibar. And one of the best things you can simply get to do while you are there, you can simply get to tour around Forodhani Gardens. Forodhani Gardens, it is a food market in Zanzibar. I'm talking about diverse African Swahili dishes. We don't know how sweet Swahili dishes are. So this is a place actually you need to be careful not to simply overeat, because there's a lot of unique and the sweet, amazing foods you can't simply get to try at the Forodhani Gardens that is in Zanzibar. I'm talking about the stone market in Zanzibar, and here are some of the activities you simply need to get to do. Of course, as we'll get to proceed, I'll get to share with you some of the images. All right, here we go. I'm just about to share with you some of the images that you can see the reason as to why you shouldn't get to miss this. And I've talked about the Forodhani. Remember, there is some diverse, unique African cultural things you can simply also get to venture into. We also do have, there's a place that is called the Giant, it is called the Prison Island. You can simply get to take a look at some of the giant tortoise. Personally, I've just seen a tortoise when they're just, like a mini babies. I've never seen like a big tortoise. But here, you get to actually see some giant tortoise. On the prison island. Sorry for that slight hitch on the prison island. And just to proceed, some other things you can get to do is that, in Zanzibar, different African cultures, different African countries, we do have, who says, who is the who in the society. And in Zanzibar, we do have a place that is called the Sultans, that is at the Palace Museum. It is actually the Palace Museum of the Sultans. And on this particular place, if you are that person who is so, who is actually so into pictures, trust me, there's some unique Swahili pictures. Some unique dope pictures you are going to take here, and of course, it will get people talking. You definitely want people flocking your timeline and asking you where you are taking this vacation from. To me, I take it more like a vacation and more like a learning experience, because knowledge is something that, of course, is diverse on a daily basis. So, irrespective of how versatile you are, you can't simply get to join us and get to tour this amazing trip all the way to Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar. We also do have the fish auction at the Darajani market. Guys, why would you simply get to miss this trip? I'm just looking forward to to take a look at such of the things that I'm not used to in my country. For example, in Kenya, most of the time you do not get to see this, and Tanzania gets to actually show you how the Africans get to live their way. Their way of life. So, of course, we do have the fish auction at the Rajani markets. That is still in Zanzibar. So, there's a lot of things you can get to do. Remember, the weather there is also conducive, so you do not need to be like a warmly dressed. You just need to be, dress casually. I mean, you just need to dress in a simple clothing. We also do have there is a hotel that is called Africa House Hotel. You can get to enjoy the cool, of course, drinks there. You can also get to enjoy that. I mean, if I keep on continuing to tell you what of course, what Dar es Salaam got to offer us, of course, I'll be spoiling it. But then again, just good to tell you what you might be missing if you may not be joining us on this particular journey. Also, remember here on the Blackwood Fire Network, we have been talking about African history. We have also been talking about a lot of in terms of the vices that were done, the vices and the atrocities, of course, that were done to the Africans. We have also been talking about that. So of course, you can take a look at the former slave market also in Zanzibar. There is some of the things you can take a look at. I mean, history is just so unique here, and of course we call it the Stone Town, but there's just more to it being only a stone down. So of course, remember, you can't simply get to enjoy this by simply contacting Keith. He'll give you the way forward regarding the trip all the way to Dar es Salaam, and you simply do not want to miss it. Remember, I'm just updating you because come the next month, I'm talking about April. That is as early as April 10th, we'll be already starting our journey all the way to Dar es Salaam, and all the way, that is all the way to Tanzania, Jerusalem and Zanzibar, and you simply do not want to miss it. Let's take a shorter break, but we'll be back. I'll get to update you on what is happening in Africa before we get to talk about different cultural topics right here on the Calmie African Diary Show. Remember, we do have other shows as well. We do have the Swahili classes. We do have the 54 Correspondence Show. We do have the Express Show also right here on the Blackwood Fire Network. The African Today Show, we also do have it right here on the blackwoodfirenetwork.com. Let's take a short musical break, but we'll be back. We'll get to take a look at some of the unique things, of course, that are happening in Africa in terms of culture, and also we'll get to update you on what is happening. Keep it the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Blackwood Fire Network Media for the 21st century. Welcome back to the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Blackwood Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, I believe your Wednesday morning is turning out quite okay. And one thing, if I must say, is that every time we are on the Wednesday. That I always believe that the week is almost coming to the end, and before we know it, we'll be on the 11th, we'll be on the 16th, we'll be on the 20th, and boom, we are already on a new month that I'm talking about, of course, April. So, of course, this is the time for you not to be afraid to do anything. If you have been meaning to do anything in your life, this is the time to go on and do it, because tomorrow is never promised to each and every of us. That is the message that I'll keep on spreading right here, that tomorrow, it's not promised to any of us. Today you might be postponing things. Today you might be maybe finding yourself in a certain situation, and you're like, okay, I'm just simply pretty, maybe I'm much messed up, and there's nothing more I can do about it. Let me tell you, that is not the end of the road for you, because trust me, there's a lot of challenges that people out here are going through. Karibuni sana to the Calmie African Diary Show. And when we took that short break, let me just again go back and share the screen once more. Remember, we are talking about culture. Culture can be diverse. It's not only about traditional things. Culture is not about traditional things, but also the way we get to express ourselves as Africans. Now, you're seeing some images, the screen that I have shared, of course, you're seeing some, let me not call them weird images, because this is photography done on another level. And I wouldn't mind, getting this particular artist to do, to do like to do something like this for me, because something like this for me, that I can get to like stick it in my house and things like that. This is of course this is in terms of Africans expressing their mind. This is on another level, and this is happening in Kenya. She goes by the name Catherine, of course, Jep Kimboi, all the way from I believe it is one of our Kalenjin sisters, actually. The Kalenjin tribe is a very also unique tribe. They are known internationally because of how they get to participate, because of how they get to participate, of course, in athletes. They are so perfect in athletes, and she has showed us that in terms of photography, in terms of creativity, there is a lot that can be done. Let me tell you, every day there's just something unique that you get, of course, to interact with right here, of course, yes, on earth. And this is some of her piece of her work. This is some of the pieces of her work. For example, here you can see, I mean, it's just so hilarious that she gets to have a mini her, that is the mini versions of her. And in terms of these mini versions of her, it comes, when you take a look at her artwork, it's more like a comedy, because let me tell you one thing, comedy keeps evolving on a daily basis. Comedy right now, I think stand-up comedy is like people are just getting tired about stand-up comedy, but it is just slowly evolving. For example, here it is how, of course, catching an egg, and that is from of course, from the hens, and that is from the poultry house. You can take a look at that. I mean, it is so unique how this young lady has, of course, come about with this unique way of expressing art. And like I've told you, the industry is very competitive. So you definitely have to be unique. This is, of course, on a plate with a slice of bread. This has actually been trending for the longest time possible. And I love for a fact how, people are out there. Let me tell you, we Africans, we are very talented. That you do not just need, you do not just need anyone to, like tell you the reality. You do not need anyone to be like, you can do it or you cannot do it. Just do it. Just to get to believe in yourself. That is all that matters. Here also, this particular meal is known as a githeri. Yes, it is my favorite actually meal. Githeri, I've been eating it ever since high school. It's just a mixture of maize and greens. Well, some people do not love githeri, but I just love the simplicity in this meal. It is all carbohydrates and proteins at the same time. So yeah, it is, I think, a staple meal for many people at home, but depends how you simply get to prepare this particular meal. Remember, this is also about exploring the African talent, the African culture. Yes, I believe this is a favorite meal for many people. That is a rice. Sorry, that is fries and chicken. I mean, I think the first time I came to, okay, let me not say the first time I came to the city, because I'll look like Where are you coming from again? But the first time, of course, when I joined university, then I knew that now my mom is not going to monitor my type of feeding. That was the time I was actually enjoying a lot of these junks, and fries and chicken was my thing. But right now, they say the more you get to grow, the more you get to realize the importance of your wealth. And definitely your wealth, I mean your health is your wealth. So of course I've tried, to like balance my diet such that it does not just to be about junks. This is still how you kind of take a look at work. This particular beverage, I believe a lot of you have interacted with it. I'm talking about a Fanta. This is still her. I mean, this is a creativity on another level. Remember, today we just simply talking about culture, and we are exploring, different types of, culture. Culture is not only in terms of your way of life, but it's also in terms of how you get to express yourself as an African. Let me know your views regarding that. And of course, this is the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Fire Network Media for the 21st century. All right, let's take a look at what is happening. Let's take a look at what is happening around the world. And I'm talking about around the world. I am talking about Africa. Let's take a look at what is happening in Africa. Well, seems like the Boko Haram, it seems like the Boko Haram getting to attack schools, getting to kidnap young girls and so on is actually the it thing. Seems like the Boko Haram are in business because this is more like they have been working with the government. Because if I am in the government and I know that this particular target is where the enemy is at, why would I hesitate to go there and simply get to end this problem once and for all? So it has been noted that recently, the Boko Haram had abducted, I think, over 100 girls, and the schools have been the target. And when the schools are the target, it gets to put the parents, it gets to put, also the teachers, it also gets to put the government in a type of a situation because you're torn in between, what will you do? You need to provide security. Students have to learn. Education has to continue. Because as a leader, you do not want to be seen that you have failed simply because you are not able to control, rather to provide safety for school going children. So, of course, schools have been the target, and many parents have resolved to rather not, leave their kids to go study in the schools. So, recently, Boko Haram stomped in a particular school. I think the situation did get to happen on a Friday. And on that Friday, these girls were made to walk for hundreds of kilometers into the forest, only for them to be released on a Monday. And something that is so sinister about this story is that the girls were released on a Monday. No demands were made. The government even went ahead, that is Buhari's government, went ahead and said that they did not pay any, when you are kidnapped, definitely a ransom has to be asked. Or if it's a state thing, then the government has to simply maybe release one of the prisoners that it has belonging to that particular group. Well, the Buhari's government simply denied any of these allegations. So I'm wondering, you want to tell me that Boko Haram all of a sudden decided to be like, okay, what we are doing to school going children, it is bad. There is something going on in the Nigerian government that, of course, the people are not told. And, as we just call it matters of the state. And sometimes the government will be like, oh, we're just, we're just dealing with this to ensure that, we're just dealing with this to ensure that, people are safe, to ensure that the civilians or rather the citizens are safe. But I believe the Boko Haram business, the Boko Haram situation, it is more like a business in Africa. But that is just on top of the updates. Let me know your views regarding that. Remember, this is the Calmie African Diary Show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century, the third day of the third month, 2021, my birthday month. Trust me, they say that whenever it is the birthday of a lady, she actually starts putting a reminder as early as when the month begins, even if the birthday is maybe end of the month. And of course, I just get to fall in that shoe. But let me know your views regarding that. That in Nigeria, it is more like a business. It is more like a business scheme between the Boko Haram and the government. Because if I am the government, that I have been elected by the people, then it is my role to find the right coordinates where the enemy is at, get to deal with it once and for all, not to be in a situation whereby it's like we're now having a dialogue with the enemy, the same enemy that is abducting kids, the same enemy that is abducting boys. I mean, yeah, it is pretty much crazy in Nigeria right now. But moving on from that, in Kenya, we do have our first batch of Astra. Okay, let me get this name correctly because, of course, of the vaccine. And let me just get this name correct because AstraZeneca, exactly. Kenya, we do have the of course, the AstraZeneca vaccine has already been launched in the 254, and of course, prominent people. I'm talking about government officials. I'm talking about the nurses, that is frontline health workers, are going to take it. The elderly also in the society are going to take it. So, in just to sum up, it is believed that I think it is believed that 500,000 vaccine have already, of course, arrived in the country, and they are kept in a very that is the AstraZeneca vaccine. They are kept in a very, of course, a secure place in the country. And in terms of East African countries, also you do have the Democratic Republic of Congo. Of course, it is set to of course to take this AstraZeneca vaccine. I'm talking about end of May. We also do have Angola. Angola actually did get to receive 624,000 doses of the vaccine. Let me tell you, hey, people are making money. They say create a pandemic and get to make billions out of it. This is now when I'm like, okay, this is quite a lot of money. So whoever actually created this pandemic, they simply know that yes, some people will die, but at the end of the day, they are going to bag in to become actually billionaires, if not zillionaires. Because you do have, everyone is running for this. Everyone wants to get the vaccine given to them. Countries like South Africa has even gone ahead and isn't its curfew because it believes that after the first rollout of the vaccine, that the numbers have actually, well, gone down a little bit. That is just in terms of the updates. Let me know. Of course, there is a lot of you know personally, I am just against this vaccine, but then again, they say that if you really want to survive, then you have to do what the government is asking you to do. Because soon, I think they'll be working from house to house. Because let me tell you, our African governments, they simply have that time. If not working from house to house, they'll make sure that that mandatory product that almost everyone is using in the country, you might have to get it by you providing that COVID-19 vaccine, or of course by you showing that you have already been vaccinated. So whether you like it or not, you are simply going to be vaccinated. I mean, we are just living in a world whereby the government decides what is good for us. The government decides what is good or bad for us. Yes, that is the type of the world that we are living in. And as we get to start the topic of the day in terms of the shrines in Africa, let me just start this with these amazing wise words that says to appreciate the taste of any food, it must have been introduced to you by your mother at a tender age. Let me repeat this. This is a Lozi proverb that says, Lozi all the way from, of course, Zambia. It says to appreciate the taste of any food, it must have been introduced to you by your mother at a tender age. Of course, where is the lie at? That is definitely the truth, because a lot of us get, of course, to familiarize ourselves, get, of course, to test some type of food or say no to some type of food by simply, of course, it's more like you have been introduced to this at some time, so you simply know what's going on. At a kid, Karibu Sanif said, good morning, Calmie. Good morning to you too. At a kid, I hope you are doing okay. And of course, feel free to get to contribute to the topic of the day, that is in regards to the shrines. We are simply going, of course, to take a look at some of these unique things. There is a lot of controversial stories regarding shrines in Africa, regarding the spirituality in Africa, because the shrines, they go hand in hand with the spirituality. And as we'll get to proceed with the show, I'll get to share with you some of the unique shrines that are still in existence. Some of the shrines that, of course, still people get to believe that whenever they go to these particular places, that their problem has been dealt with. Well, they say that whatever you actually get to believe in and it works, that is it for you. Nobody should judge you for that. So for some people, for example, in Nyeri in Kenya, we do have a shrine whereby during a particular time of the year, people actually come out from different places. I'm talking about almost different places in the country, and some even outside the country, to come and witness, to come and get to tap that water. It is believed that this shrine was built on a mountain, and this mountain provides some type of spiritual water. And this water, if you get to consume it, then your problems get to be dealt with. Well, personally, I've not tried, but of course, it is what the people say. So it is, I just cannot interfere with someone's belief. Let me just share a video of some of the shrines that you do have as we'll get to proceed with the show. Remember, everyone has their own view, of course, regarding the shrines, because they go hand in spirituality. And remember on this particular show, we are talking about history all the way from Africa. Let me just get to share this as we'll get to proceed with the show. And remember also, the African culture is always unique, irrespective of irrespective of the brainwash that has been given out there. Let me just get to share this as we'll get to proceed with the show. Sorry.
Hello, wonderful viewers. This Big Vision comes to you from Big Vision Media. I am over here in Ghana, West Africa, the land of my birth. This place, as you see right now, is the palace of the Tenzuk chief. Right behind me is part of the house. The chief has about 23 wives with 115 children. And the entirety of the house houses over 300 people. As you see right now, I am on top of the rooms within the compound. I will be talking to one of the chief's son, and he will be telling me a whole lot about this palace. At the entrance of his palace, one is greeted with a god, as you see before me, and one of his sons will be telling me a little bit about this god. So what is the name of this god right here?
The name is called Te.
So what does it do?
And the other one also is Dok.
So this is called Te, and the other one is Dok. So do you know what they do?
Yes. This one is mainly to protect evil things against the family.
So this God right here, a protective shield against the family in terms of any demonic attack. Okay. What is this shrine? What's the name of the shrine?
This is the founder of the house.
The founder of the house.
That's right.
And what is the name of the founder of the house?
Golan Tengol.
So Golan Tengol is the founder of this household. So that means he built this house. I am walking into the royal household of the Tenzuk chief. We just walked in. So now where do you go? Do we go left or right? We pass left, right? I am in here at one of the sections within this big royal household, and I am about to get into one of the rooms within this royal household. You might want to come with me for us to have a feel as to how it looks like. All right, come with me. Wow. It looks cool in here. This part of the world is quite hot because it's closer to the Sahara Desert. But I tell you, anybody living in this place would not want to come out because this in here is very cold. This is Africa, and you cannot find this in any other place of the world except in Africa. This is an idol to my left, and to my right is another idol. So that means anybody living in this room is protected by two powerful idols. This room, I am told, is about 500 to 600 years old. It was built by the founder of this royal household, and it is right here in the center of the royal household. I am still taking the tour around Tenzu, and you might want to come with me. I am on my way to the Tenzuk Shrine. The Tenzuk Shrine is a very famous shrine in Ghana. There we are right here, and I am on my way to the shrine. This right here you see me is the part of the shrine, and looking into this shrine, you see the skulls of donkeys. And I'm told it is a donkey cave. My tour guide will be telling me more about it. Now, tell me about this place. What is it? What is it for? So tell me about it.
Okay, this is a famous cave called Donkey Cave because a lot of people come to seek help from the shrine. Assuming you marry for so long, you are not able to produce. You are a farmer, you want good harvest. You are a businessman, you want customers to attend. Even pastors and Muslims, they do come here. Some of them normally find it difficult to go to Makkah. So they come to the shrine for consultation to help them to make gateway. So some of them normally make a promise that if I'm able to achieve what I want, I'll come and pay a donkey. But it doesn't mean any promise you should make there should be a donkey. Whatever you think you can come back to fulfill. So these are promise from people who make promise to donkey and they make sacrifice to the shrine and they kept the schools there.
How many donkeys do you have to come with?
This one is from your own heart of interest. What if you promise one donkey, you are bringing one donkey. If you promise two donkeys, you are bringing two donkeys.
Right behind me is where the spirits live, and the priest goes to consult the god or the shrine. People from all over Africa and beyond come to consult this shrine right here. It is called the Tenzuk Shrine. It is also a tourist destination. My viewers all over the United States of America and Europe watching me can come to Ghana, West Africa, to Tenzuk in Tongo to see for themselves what I am talking about. This is the handwork.
That is just, of course, a part in terms of the shrines that we are talking about. Remember, we have talked about African culture being unique. We have talked about African culture, of course, being something that you cannot just simply copy and paste. And we do have a lot of shrines in different African countries in terms of how people actually get to believe in this. And just to start on with this, of course, show. Remember, we are talking about shrines in Africa because there's a lot of amazing information regarding some of these shrines. Shrines have been known to exist. Of course, some shrines have been found existing. Of course, some shrines have been found existing, of course, in different African places. I believe also maybe in the diaspora you might be having the same. But some shrines, in the African context, they are more of a cultural. They get to represent the culture of the people. They also get to understand the way of life, the types of the way of life, the social of the land, the points of worship that African people get to use. So of course a shrine is something very sacred in Africa. We do not just go there and maybe act some type of way, because in some different African countries, I believe there is a way that you need to act when you are nearby a shrine. That in some places perhaps they'll tell you maybe to leave your valuables, or maybe to remove your shoes. Just depends with each African country. And also here in Kenya, we also do have shrines that I'll of course get to proceed and get to share with you. But shrines, they also get to explore, the diverse forms of the spiritual vessels, or rather the points of worship, because you've seen from the video that people all over the world actually they come to Africa. They come to Africa to worship some of these shrines. They come to Africa. They, of course, they come to Africa to get to pray to their God, because they believe there is a mystical being there who actually gets to listen to them. And once whatever they have prayed for is fulfilled, and they did have a promise that needs to be kept, they'll simply get back to these shrines and get to meet the end of the deal that they, of course, got to set with the certain God. So of course, the African, in terms of when you get to ask someone, maybe in terms of let me use the word modernization in quotes, they'll be like all these shrines is more like it's more like a black magic. That is the belief out here. That people believe that the African way of life, that is in terms of the worshiping shrines, it is just black magic. That this black magic is used, to do a lot of a lot of course, in terms of ensuring that people are secure, in terms of ensuring that the welfare of the community is looked into. They believe that some of these shrines are used to do that. Well, some time back, of course, I'll be traveling to the Kisii County, and I'm really actually looking forward to getting to interact with the people there. Kisii County is just where I come from. I'll be traveling there soon. And if you go there, and there are some places that we do have the Manga Hills actually in Kisii. But this is just one particular. Well, I fear that place. Let me just share you with you some of the images, because this is more like a shrine itself. We do have the Manga Hills. The Manga Hills in that is in Kisii. We do have the Manga Hills in Kisii. And every time I was in school, I used to fear this particular place. Let me just share with you the image. I used to fear. Let me just get this. I used to fear this particular place because of some of the stories, that our students actually used to talk about this place. The Manga Hills are in Kisii County. This particular place, it is believed that if you get to walk past these hills, because remember we are talking about culture, we are talking about the shrines. This is the hill. Of course, you can't see. It's just a hill, yes, but it is in Kisii County. But I've told you, I just have, of course, let me just share this. I just have phobia regarding this because of some of the stories that we used to hear. That if you have to walk past here as a woman, you have to drop firewood down this cave, because it is believed that there are some weird sounds of children crying, of women crying, of men crying. It is believed that this particular hill, before it actually became a shrine, that this particular hill, its origination was after, it was after a landslide, and that people were swallowed, by earth, and as a result, it existed. So personally, I've just always been fearing to walk past this hill, because I cannot imagine if I get to hear some weird sounds, and I'm on this particular path, and it is the only path that I can and it is the only path that I can of course get to walk. I might as well get to fall down. Let me just get this correct. I think I just all right. Let me just get this. I think all right. Kate, welcome. Hello, Kate.
Hey, good morning, Calmie. My voice is
Good
last
morning.
night. Hey, good morning, Calmie.
Morning to
Well,
you
good
too.
afternoon over in Nairobi. Aren't those shrines, Calmie, against white Jesus and white Muhammad? Aren't those African shrines against white Muhammad and white Jesus? How dare
I
you?
believe I believe so, Kit, because the people actually get to believe that the shrines work more than what white Jesus is promising the people. Because Kit, if you go maybe praying for vast health, and you are given it maybe after a certain duration of time, then you'll believe that these shrines actually work. And some people have sometimes it has been used the wrong way. That is to say, that is a fact. Sometimes it has been used the wrong way, that people have been, I don't want to use the word bewitched, but some people have turned mad against going to these shrines. Against going to some of maybe the agreement that they set in these shrines. For example, the one that I've set, that I've just showed on the screen in Kisii County. Trust me, Kit, you cannot pass there, because you have to pass by that cliff to reach the certain destination that you are going. And I remember schooling just nearby, so I didn't want to even try to pass that road because it was believed you have to drop a piece of firewood down that because it's just more like a hollow, just more like let me use the word a void because you cannot reach the end of it, but you get to hear the screams of men, women, and children. So you have to like drop firewood as a way of appeasing them. Those are some of the stories I used to hear back then. This is actually in high school, so you can imagine how scary this particular place looks actually. But the people of that
Yeah.
place have found a way of survival there.
Well, it's more of a natural tradition. They white man came, said you're backwards. I don't know why
Mhm.
African people who want to play tribal games can't see your traditions are you got different a variation of the same culture. That's why you got chiefs all throughout Africa, African people. It's a variation of the same culture. You're not different people. Again, to the
Mhm.
Kissimmee people, these people, that people. No, you're African people. You have variations of the same culture. That's why you have a chief culture throughout Africa. Who's the chief? Who's this chief? It's the same culture. It's variation because of time and distance from one
Mhm.
another, walking out parts of Africa, but it's the same culture. And you
Mhm.
let allow the most wicked motherfucker on the planet come in and tell you that all your traditions were bad. When was the African invading and raping women, enslaving people? When was the African doing that? Since his traditions are backwards. What part of the world was the African taken over by rape,
Not,
brutality?
not that I'm
Nowhere.
aware.
Exactly. But it never happened. But your but your white man's God is involved in rape, torture, or your white Arab God is involved in rape, torture, and slavery, is somehow more superior than your God. That is a fallacy. Your God, which is actually studying nature, a study of nature, it evolved, but your culture was a divination of the universe, which is actually science, which is actually real. So when black people said in Africa that they talk to the planet, I mean to the plants, and the plants talk back to them, that is real. That's not nothing weird. That's real. Because plants, that's how Africans knew all these agents that healed them in the natural world. They would go out in nature and the plants would talk to them because it was a symbiotic relationship that we had with plants. Now everybody's starting to, their scientists starting to show this is a fact. But when black people told you that, oh, they're crazy, oh, these niggas are crazy talking to plants talking to them. Because we're African people, when they practice the traditions, Cammy, are in tune with the universe. When you gave up your culture, your forays and your mores to go worship white people who ain't never lived, you lost the natural world. And it connects to plants. A plant has chlorophyll, has melanin like you. So the chlorophyll in the plant would talk to your melanin. That's why the plant can say, "Hey, Cammy, this was boil it, put it in tea, put it in your mouth. It'll stop malaria. It'll stop this." That's how your ancestors knew all these herbs that are in Africa. It's all around Africa because there was no diseases in Africa, Cammy. The white man showed up that these herbs would heal you. How'd they know? Because they would talk. Because the plants would talk to them. They be walking the forest, Cammy, and the plant would say, "Hey, dummy, look down here. This will heal you." Oh, damn, this will heal me. Okay. So all these things would heal you. These herbs, Africans do. They didn't treat it. They healed you. They would heal you. So I sent you guys a video. I sent you and Spikes a video. Hope you play it, of the Congo. They're keeping it quiet out of Congolese little village, Calmie, because the Congo being the richest place on the planet, found a whole mountain of gold, Calmie. They found a whole mountain of gold. The whole mountain is gold, Calmie. I sent it to Spikes and I sent it to your phone. Hope you'll play it. And they're keeping it secret because when the white man finds out where it's at, they're going to bring Ebola and AIDS and COVID-19. So they try to, but those people in the Congo are being very quiet. It's secret. So I sent you guys that video. Hopefully you'll find it and play it. It's a whole mountain of gold, Calmie. So it's a whole mountain that they just, and you see African people help. They're not knocking each other down. They're not fighting. They're just digging out the mountain and sharing the gold. So hopefully, by the time the white man finds it, it'll just be a stump. They're gonna dig the whole mountain down. It's just full of gold.
In regards to the diseases, Keith, I've seen that in DRC Congo, they are discovering a possible cure for HIV and AIDS. The disease that, of course, they brought to us, and now they're now in Africa trying to discover the cure for the HIV and AIDS in Congo. The same Congo that is laced with the Ebola that they actually did give it to them. So it's more like a contradiction right here.
It is. Well, it's actually been cured. Dr. Sadie cured AIDS 30 years ago, but we're not going to say it. The African herbalist cured AIDS 30 years ago. But they don't want you to know that. Like I said, they got African people that AIDS is just that it showed up in Africa one day. No, it was a genocide of the African off the land to get the resources. It was to kill African people. It's created in the lab here in America to wipe out black people in Africa and here. That's why all of a sudden, the blacks in America got most of the AIDS and the Africans got all these AIDS.
That is how they get to say in their statistic that sub-Saharan Africa is highly affected by HIV and AIDS. And Keith, have you seen this new situation that is in Tanzania? There is a farm, I believe it is a British farm because it's called Polai that has set it's a mini. Sorry, I've just spoken. So that has set, of course, it's a company in Tanzania, and on this particular company, they are buying pregnant women's urine to get to use it to make medicine. So right now, things are rather not quite good in Tanzania because it's now becoming becoming a critical situation.
African women, like I told. Well, because African women, Calmie, I told you, the most superior on the planet. These are facts, but they don't know that. They've been told white Jesus and all these lies. African woman, Calmie, is, when I say that, I tell you the truth. African woman is the most superior person on the planet. That's a biological fact. But they've been dumbed down, so that's why they run after ugly white men in Kenya trying to sleep with that ugly white man and dilute their own genetics. The African woman doesn't know she's the most superior on the planet. But the Asian and the white man know that. That's a fact. You got to get, if you want to get cured, you better get that black woman's genetics. You get the black woman. So are they using urine? I'm sure they are. Because Tanzanians probably eat more healthy. They're not full of GMOs. So everything that they would dispense from their body would be more healthier than in the West. So I'm sure it has some properties, Calmie, that are healing agents. I'm sure it does. They study everything about us, Calmie. They study African people.
Because this particular...
Go ahead, Calmie.
I'm saying because this particular sample is believed that is the sample from pregnant women. It is believed to actually cure the likes of infertility. But of course, sadly enough, people do not get to realize how important, how important and unique the African woman is, of course.
No, no, Cammy. Everybody knows but the African woman. Everybody knows. Everybody knows but the African woman. The African woman is the only one that don't know. Doesn't know who she is no more. She'll skin bleach her skin, and she'll have sex with non-black people to have kids that are less than her now. Everybody knows Cammy but the African woman. That's not true. That's why they're down there getting that. Everybody knows the African woman. The African woman run around chasing white Jesus or white Allah, whatever. The black woman, Cammy, is actually considered all practical purposes. But the African woman, for all practical purposes, is your first reflection of the Creator on the planet.
Absolutely.
She is the closest thing to God.
Indeed, Keith, you are right. And yes, and of course, we are, of course, almost running the show because we already have the guest for the Express show just a few minutes from now. But I would love to appreciate I'd love to appreciate your sentiments regarding this entire topic. I just hope that the African woman out there can get to really understand how important she is, and of course the fact that she gets to contribute a lot of positivity in terms of the existence of some things, of course, around
everybody, Cammy. Everybody, Cammy. Just like you got the black woman's genes here called the helo cell from Henrietta Lack. This woman died 70 years ago, Cammy, but her genes are still living. They use her genetics to cure everybody else. This African woman who was born in America, African American. Her genes are still living. She's dead, Cammy, but her genes are still living. Her genetics are still living. So that lets you know that you're timeless. There's no such thing as death for you. The body is an illusion. You are a spirit. You've been given lives. You used to know that there's no such thing as death. So understand, African woman. That's why you want an African woman in her right mind. You get an African woman in your right mind, black man, you're the luckiest man in the world. Now, they're hard to find. They're like a needle in a haystack. They'll come with white Jesus or white Islam or what. You're like, oh, no. But if you get a black woman in her right mind, you might not never let her ass go.
They say if you educate,
you better hold that woman.
They say that if you educate the black woman, then you get to educate the world at large. That is, of course, the importance of that.
The world.
Exactly.
The world. That's why they had to destroy the black woman's mind. That's why she's the main one. You ever notice? I'm about to let you go, Cam. You ever notice the black woman is the mainly one in these religions? She's the most Christian in any black man. She's the most one in the religion. So her mind is completely fucked up. That's why until the black woman comes out of these lies, that's another reason the world would never ascend. The vibration level won't go where it needs to go. Because she's the most important person on the planet. Not the white woman, not the Asian woman, not the East Indian woman. The African woman. Because she's the mother of humanity. That's just a fact. She's the oldest so she's the most genetically diverse. So much love, family. I'm gonna go to Tanzania and find me a real African woman, damn it, or somewhere in Africa, damn it. South Africa, Kenya, Nigerians are too crazy.
They'll want Gucci and Prada. They'll want Gucci and Prada. But I really appreciate Kate for tuning in to the show. And of course, we do have another great show that is coming right a few minutes from now. So of course, stick by and keep it to the blackoutfirenetwork.com media for the 21st century. We do have some amazing guests right next on the Express show that is coming a few minutes from now. So, of course, do not be left behind, because it is about to be later in here. My name is Calmie, and this has been the Calmie African Diary Show. Much, of course, respect to Keith for providing this platform, and also after Ricardo Bradford, you had, of course, already joined us. And to those who are also watching the show, really appreciate you for tuning in. And of course, sadly enough, we have to cut it short, because we do have just the visitors have just popped in. It is about to be late, but I have appreciated everyone. I do trust that you have learned a thing or two regarding our history today. We do have other shows as well that will be coming right here on the blackhotfirenetwork.com. And if you might have missed, of course, the show, you can simply get to log on to www.blackhotfirenetwork.com, and of course you can proceed and get to watch some of the shows that you might have missed. We really appreciate you, and you can also get to contact at Keith. He will give you the way forward regarding the Tanzanian trip. Muwe na siku njema, and keep it the Black Fire Network, media for the 21st century.